Hi everyone, welcome back to That'll Do Garage. I have some exciting news today. I got a new email from Ford, I think it was yesterday, maybe even last night, and it says, hey, guess what? It's almost time to order your new Bronco. So this is a big deal for me. There's a lot of details in here I just want to share with you, and then after I show you with these details, we're going to have a chat with TJ from Hayford Ford with some more Q&A from the dealer. But anyway, I wanted to share this because there's actually legitimate news here. They are advising that within 2 weeks, the 2022 build and price will be available, and we will be sending an invitation to place my order. I do want to say that yesterday I started getting some text messages from TJ in the morning. He was sitting in a meeting live with Ford, finding out these details, and he's right away texting me during the meeting, which is awesome. I just think that's really nice of him to share that info with me and kind of that insider news. But he's saying, yeah, it's coming up in a couple days, and yeah, you'll be able to do it right online, and so on. It was really cool. So special thanks to him. But yeah, so I'll be getting an invite, and here's again confirmation that the delivery timing will depend on the reservation timestamp, and your specific build, along with the allocation for your Bronco dealer. But like we talked about in the previous video, that just shows that there's a lot of confusion at the dealership where I'm purchasing a Bronco. So that is the detail here. This stuff we already knew, right? We were going to get the Sasquatch with a manual transmission on more trims, new colors, and so on. So that's good. But the big thing, the really cool stuff for me was I also got an email from Bronco Nation. And here is that article. It's basically breaking down a lot of the insider info that they get since they're so closely aligned with Ford Motor Company. So here's some timeline that was really good here. That was when we received the communication. That was the meeting that I referenced TJ was in. Now, coming up in the next couple days, Ford will be completing the conversion from 21 model year to 22 model year in their system. They will not be scheduled until orders have been confirmed, but they will be converting, not being deleted, not being canceled. So that sort of jives with what we have already talked about as well. And then further down, October 13th, which I want to say is next Wednesday, the actual order banks open and the build and price and online ordering launch. What? Online ordering, right? Like, what is this? This is a new thing that it seems to be, this is the first I've heard about it. So I'm quite excited, and there's a little bit more detail further down. But if you are a non-converted reservation holder, which is basically me, right? I have a reservation, but I haven't ordered it yet. You will be able to order online, which is awesome. The customer communication will be sent saying order now. Dealers will begin working with customers, and so on. There's a lot of info here, and I would encourage you to come check this out and read through it. But it's overall, I'm really excited. It's exactly what I was hoping for. It's a solid date, and if you can trust Ford, this is actually what's going to be occurring. So then near the end of October, they will begin scheduling, and in December, they will actually start building. So again, there's a lot of info here. You guys should definitely check this out. I'll put the links in the description. But ultimately, this is where I'm at. 22 model year reservation holder who have not yet converted their order can use the online ordering tool right here. I placed a reservation, which is true, but I never converted it to an order. You will not lose your timestamp. You will need to convert to an order with your dealer. So I'm really excited about that. I actually sent my salesman a email like, hey, don't even try to order my Bronco. I'm gonna do it through the online ordering tool. don't even try. So that's good. I'm excited. And there's some more info down here about the 22 and the new options. The other thing that came out is the pricing and the order guide, price protection and order guide. So you should take a look at these details as well, but essentially the price has almost not changed at all. This is about pricing protection for the people who had their order in before March 19th of 2021. Ford made very specific promises about that price protection. And so in this case, when you go from a 21 to a 22, like this is my category here, Big Bend 4-door, the price has gone up by $250, which is almost nothing. And so you get a $250 voucher if you ordered prior to this date. But yeah, read through all this detail. I'm not going to bore you with all the text here, but it's fascinating stuff. It was really good fodder for my frustration. And then here is the actual order guide that they received. This is, highlighting here. And then these are the Ford documents. This is the price list. So this is just a couple pages, but you can kind of see the new breakdown here of, Big Bend 4-door, mid package, etc. This is the pricing. So good info there, and again, tons of information, right? Like you can see all the little option codes and everything for all the stuff you're looking for. And I'm curious too if this would let you just reference these, like that would sort of make you like a Ford insider. You just know exactly how to request that package. But here's the order guide, and it's like 36 pages. So there's a ton of info as well. And when I was talking to TJ, actually, he cited, I was asking him what he ordered, and he's like, yeah, I ordered a 221A, blah, 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 right? Like that doesn't mean anything to me, but to him and to Ford speak, that means Big Bend, I think with a mid package or something like that. So anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Check it out. I'll link to all this as well. But yeah, it's exciting news. And I do want to share with you guys that. And then also just had another Q&A session with TJ. So let's get to that as well. But I hope you are as excited as I am. This is great news. And I'm expecting next week to be able to actually go on the website and order my Bronco myself. Super excited.
Hey, before we start speaking with TJ, I just wanted to share with you guys the Bronco that we're looking at. We did have a few comments about, hey, what kind of wheels are those and what size tires and so on. And I see this Winch is a new addition as well. So I kind of want to pick his brain about where they got these parts from, maybe where the lift kit came from. I just think this thing looks really mean. I love it. But also we want to talk about what he knows about the Raptor and the Heritage trim and the 22 order banks. So we should have some good questions for him. Let's see what he's got. Hey, I'm here with TJ Phelps, Hayford Ford. We're going to take a look at that Bronco that we talked about last time with Jesse, and he's going to fill me in on some of the details with the tires and the lift, and then a new addition of the winch, which is pretty sweet. So TJ, thanks for meeting with us today.
No problem.
Appreciate
Jeff.
it.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at this lift and tires, and you can tell me what's going on here.
Yeah, so when we first got our dealer Broncos for customers to drive, there wasn't any choice. They put them in the order bank and said this is what we're getting, but we really wanted a Sasquatch. I personally have a Sasquatch coming, so we couldn't get all the electronics and stuff, but what we could do was the lift and the tires and the wheels. So what we ended up doing was we searched the web for a long time, waiting for Rough Country actually to come out with their 2-inch blocks. So what it is, it's a Rough Country 2-inch block kit, front and rear. And then we went with the exact same tires that the Sasquatch gets. I was actually down in Texas with these. Loved the traction that they got, mud, rock, grass, all around good traction. So I really like that. It has kind of this Baja tread pattern that I like. So I ended up sticking with the exact same tire size tire size and tires that the Sasquatch comes with, which is the Goodyear Territory MTs. Same size, 35-inch. With the wheels, that was an exercise in futility because there was not a lot of information on the offsets when the Sasquatches first came out. So we had to do a little bit of game chasing here. Anyway, what we ended up doing was we ended up ordering in a set of wheels that were supposed to be Sasquatch wheels. they had a 35 millimeter offset.
Okay.
So that was pretty big, but we were like, well, that's what they're saying we get. So we ordered them in, mounted the tires and wheels to the truck, and it actually sat out probably a good, well, 35 millimeters, good 2.5 inches more than what they are now. But what we ended up doing was tracking down through Bronco Nation's forum. We ended up tracking down the offset from some photos a guy had posted at the factory of the back side of the wheels, and it's actually an 18 millimeter offset.
Okay.
So it took us a lot of digging to find the right offset and then to find the right wheels. But nothing was readily available when we started building this one. So we kind of had to piece stuff together as it became available. And any customers, I'm sure, that got a Bronco right away went through the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a little disheartening. You see the stuff out there, but you can't get it.
Right.
Unavailable, you know. But no, it's been great. It looks great. The offset is perfect.
Yeah.
Runs right to the edge of the fenders.
I love it.
Yeah.
So the rough country blocks, so is it between the coil and the coil bucket?
Yeah, yep, right up on top there, right between the coil and the coil bucket. I don't think you're gonna get a good view of it here. You can kind of see part of it here. And what you'll see is the dampener there, and then the actual steel spacer right there.
Okay. They just bolt in.
Yep, bolts right in. It basically just drops your whole coil set up another 2 inches. So,
okay,
yep.
And that was enough for the...
Yep, that was enough to clear the tires. We didn't have to take out any of the crash bars to get the clearance we needed.
Yeah, I see that.
Which is good.
Cool. Wow, so where did you get the wheels from? Do you remember?
The wheels actually came from Tire Rack.
Okay.
So no different than anybody else. We shop online sometimes when we can't get them from Ford. The wheels are Alphas. They came from Tire Rack along with the Territory MTs.
Okay, cool. This looks great. So tell me about the winch up on the front here.
So part of the package on the first Broncos, they called them mannequins, was they gave us basically a package of accessories we had to add to it. So what they did was they kind of packaged everything up, sent it out to us. The last part to come was the worn winch. This is actually the Ford accessory winch. It's a Xeon 10S, I think, right? Xeon 10S, 10,000 pound winch. All Ford part numbered, brackets, mounting plate. And then they also, it's kind of cool how they did it. They relocated the D-rings to move them out. So they actually mounted this to the frame and then moved out the links for your D-rings. So
maintain that. That's cool.
Yep, that was pretty neat. I like that.
So this thing's wired right into the Ford factory harness then?
Yep, wired right up.
That's awesome.
And then the Warn comes with, I think it's like a 25-foot cable. Not wireless, but...
Okay, just plug it in. That's cool.
And then, of course, braided line.
Yeah, is it a nylon rope?
Yep.
Awesome. TJ, I want to ask you about the Bronco you ordered too, right? You're a big fan of these things, so you got one for yourself coming.
Yes, I do. Yep.
What is the details on that thing?
So that was a long process. It was no different than anybody else. You know, it launched July 13th, 2020. You know, longer story. It was my daughter's birthday, so it was like hold the cake. But no, it was a pretty big event. So I ended up spending close to an hour on the downtime while everybody's trying to order, put in the reservations, and I've just played around with the configurator. And I ended up settling on a Big Ben 222 package, which is the higher end. Certain creature comforts I like. I like the heated seats.
Yeah.
I like the remote start. I knew I wanted the Sasquatch.
Yeah. Sure.
So that I found the best value for the equipment I was looking for. I really didn't want the marine grade vinyl or the leather. So that had the best value of the package I was looking for in it, and that's what I ended up going with.
Yeah.
And then it was just accessories from there.
So you got a Sasquatch. Did you get the 4-cylinder or the 6-cylinder?
I got the 6-cylinder, the 2.7. Yep.
The automatic.
Yep.
And then any fun accessories like the winch or?
Not yet. I'm trying to locate the actual part right here, the mounting bracket. I don't really want the Warn. Not that I don't like Warn. I just don't do that much off-roading to spend that much money on it.
Yeah.
I did get the light pods already, first aid kit, off-road kit, a bunch of that stuff, and then a bunch of factory accessories in the order bunks.
Okay, cool. And that's going to be here any day?
Not fast enough, man. It's been sitting, according to the computer, it's been sitting in Chicago since the 30th.
Oh.
So I'm still within the delivery window, but I'm getting more and more anxious as I check the computer.
It's like 6 hours away. Like you could drive.
I know,
it,
right?
let
me go pick it up.
Oh shoot.
Yep.
Okay, well, I got to ask you, what do you know about the Raptor?
The same stuff you guys know.
Okay.
It's unbelievable. But when we actually got the email for the Raptor, it was great. You know,
Yeah.
so we're all sitting there, and it was Jeff, I, and Jesse, and we're like, oh my gosh, Jesse comes up, look at this.
Yeah.
So we open up our emails, we're watching it, we go to YouTube, and all of a sudden it's like it was out 3 days ago. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
so following Ford it's a little bit tough because they'll send us that information. And as Bronco specialists, we're supposed to be ahead of everything.
Yeah.
No different with any other corporation though. Stuff leaks out.
Yeah.
And
sure.
but we saw the same video you saw. That's the
Crazy.
information we have. So right now, based on assumptions, you know, with everything Ford has done, the Ranger chassis already has the Fox 2.0 shocks,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So my guess is we're gonna see the same kind of stuff that a Raptor should have. You know, the Fox shocks.
Yeah.
You know, a 2.7 version, maybe a little higher output. But I got a feeling we're gonna see a lot better suspension for
Yeah.
just fast Baja.
Maybe 37s too, maybe.
That hopefully
Maybe.
hopefully some bigger tires that ease
Okay.
up the bumps a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. So I imagine it's the same thing for the Heritage trim level then. It's all conjecture right now.
It's all speculation. I did go through all the information I could find, and they haven't released anything that I can even, you know, kind of guess on, right? So right now, anything that I do find on 2022 Bronco from Ford, we're still looking at the same package trims and contents as was available for 21,
Okay.
other than the first edition.
Yeah.
It does sound like the same kind of leak sources are pushing the Heritage at the same level as the first edition.
Okay.
Which I'm kind of bummed about, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. To me, when I started this, it was like, I want a 2-door, I want a manual, 4-cylinder, 4-wheel drive,
Yeah.
and let's go. Well, I got out vetoed by the whole family, so nobody wanted to ride in a 2-door. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it cool then, right?
Yeah.
But I really like the classic Broncos, and that's really where my passion started for this, was
Yeah.
the classic Broncos. You know, my uncle had an old 67. You know,
Wow.
I ended up getting a mid-90s and kept that for quite a while. Did a lot of stuff to it.
Cool.
But I have a lot of passion for this style. This body style, to me, just hit it out of the park.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we've had screensavers on that for the last 2 years. You know, what's it
Yeah.
gonna look like?
Just dreaming.
Yep.
Yeah. It's so cool. It's exciting stuff. Really,
It is.
The passion is really cool. I feel it too. I like it a lot. And you know, I post these videos of me whining in my garage about how it's going to take forever, and maybe I should go buy a Jeep. And like, the truth is, I'm not going to go buy a Jeep. I mean, I'm so excited about this thing, and I think a lot of people share that too.
Yep.
It still sucks, and it's amazing how frustrating and painful this can be. You know, some of the comments are like, I just wish we got some communication, and who's running the show over there, you know? And
Yeah.
and I should point out that, or I want to point out that you guys are confused too.
Yeah, it's as clear as mud. It really
Yeah.
is. I mean, you know, just look, you'll see it. But
Yeah.
it's been tough for everybody. You know, me as a Bronco buyer, a Bronco reservation holder, and a Ford employee, you know, and a Bronco specialist. You know, there's a lot of information that you really got to dig to find it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we get our updates. They're called EFCs, you know, electronic communications. We get those and everything, and you really read through them, and then you kind of piece together what you think's going on. But man, it's been an experience. It's been fun. I get there's frustrating parts, and trust me, I've been there, man. I mean, July 13th, 2020, I put my reservation in, you know. I mean, I had a low reservation number. I had to change some options to even get mine to be built. You know, and that was a sacrifice I really had to sit down and think about, because it was like, do I really want to forego the hardtop or this or that to get my Bronco built?
Sure.
And at the point, I was just like, you know what, man, I want my Bronco.
Yeah.
What I would say is, if you have an early enough reservation to actually go down and do the Bronco off-rodeo, get on board before your Bronco gets here and just go have fun. Because I got the same letter a lot of your viewers got, was, we're sorry, your Bronco's going to be delayed. We're sorry, your Bronco's going to be delayed. And there were like 3 or 4 of those. And then depending on the options, you know, it was frustrating. And I literally got my last letter saying, you know, due to the molded and color hardtop problems, your Bronco's going to be delayed again. And I just went, you have got to be kidding me. I mean, I was pretty bummed out. I was probably a bear to be around for that whole day. And then the next week we went to Texas, man. And it was night and day. I mean, my whole attitude just like a switch. I was right back in. I'm like, whatever, I'll wait, because it was a great experience. So if anybody has an early enough reservation to actually go to the Bronco Off Rodeo before their order is submitted or confirmed, and that would have come to you via email communication, stuff like that, jump in, man. Go. It's you know, they pay for your trip if you want. Well, they don't pay for your trip, they pay for your entry. Hotel and lodging, flights on you. But if you bring a guest or something, they add a little bit to that as well. But it was an incredible experience. I mean, it was amazing, and it totally reinvigorates your attitude towards the Bronco. And it was something I personally needed, because I was getting a little bit burnt out. I mean, I got my hammock, and I got my thank you for your Bronco reservation, you know. But I was pretty burnt out until I went down to that. So that's my biggest piece of advice. If you can go before your Bronco gets here, go. Yeah.
That's cool. That's good advice. Personally, I think I was waiting for the Moab opening, which is all open now.
It's all open,
I think it's 4 locations around the country that are open. So I'm going to make a reservation for that sometime soon. I don't know when. Try to get my wife to go with me, but we'll see. So we've been talking about options a little bit and how you had to make a compromise. And one of the things that in some of my other videos we were talking about is my own difficulty with getting my order, you know, solidified, and the way the other dealership that I'm working with is handling it. So what have you seen in terms of, you know, a 2021 order turning into a 22? Like what advice do you have, or what do you know about that?
Well, the 21 Bronco order bank is shut down now. I couldn't put them in there if I wanted to. But the ones that I do have for 2021, it's the same thing. It's as clear as mud. You know? They might switch over automatically. I might have to push them. Everything I'm reading says they're going to switch over. So I'm gonna play with that, but I'm not able to really play with the system yet because they haven't opened up the 22 order bank yet. Okay. So I do know on other models they've automatically switched over on like the Mach-E, stuff like that. But as far as the F-150s, they haven't yet. So so it's one of those things you got to play with. You just got to find the right guy that's willing to just dig in and go, yeah, this is what I can do. But it's one of them things. I couldn't tell you a straight answer if I wanted to right now.
I hear you.
But
so just to be clear, the 21 orders you've seen in the Ford system, you know, model year orders just automatically kind of convert to the next model year. Is that accurate?
Only on the Mach-E so far, and that's we've only had one that has actually done that.
Okay.
But yeah, the way the program reads is the 21s are supposed to convert to 22 orders. Okay. That's the way everything reads. So that's the information we have. Okay. But if that doesn't happen, you know, everybody in the dealership should be making that change for you. The only difference would be, you know, we've got quite a few reservations. The only difference would be if there's a different color, which there's supposed to be 2 extra colors this year, deleting some. Those are calls we're going to have to make and say, hey, you know, this option's not available, or here's the new options that are available. Do you want to add them? You know.
Okay. So in some cases, maybe people can reach out to their sales rep, and in other cases, the rep's going to be reaching out to the customer and saying, this is what's happening.
Yep. Yeah, it can go either way. And if your rep's not reaching out to you, call them. You know, that's their job. You know, give them a buzz and say, hey, what's going on? You know, I heard about this. Just ask them questions. You know, and it should be pretty transparent. The whole process should be. As long as we know the information, we can relay it out. And then with the order banks the way they are, I've seen, you know, right before the shutdown, I seen orders go in that actually got scheduled to be built, and it's it's one of those things where we know the commodities for that week. So we know, we know that they're not going to build the hardtop this week or the Sasquatch this week.
Okay.
Or they're not going to be building, vehicles with trailer tow, which was a commodity constraint 3 weeks ago. So you can play with those. A dealer can play with those and not necessarily change your order, but give you the option to change your order.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things. If you follow the Bronco forums, there's a lot of that information that does get out, even though it's proprietary information. It does get out there. But if you follow that, that's even something that you can kind of go on the offensive about and just go, hey, I heard that if I removed my trailer tow, my Bronco might get scheduled. Might. And that's a big might, right?
Yeah.
But basically what they're trying to do is build every Bronco they can with the parts that they have. You know, so they're not going to stop the line just because they can't build the wild tracks. So
or whatever. Yeah, makes sense. What do you think, if you had to guess? I know this is pure guesswork, but do you think production of a 22 is going to be, 4 times the production of the 21 in terms of overall model year volume? You think it's going to ramp way up, or you think it's going to be the same?
Man, I hope it ramps up. I really do.
It should, right?
Yeah, they're gonna. They have a lot of reservations yet to fulfill, so they're probably going to end up having to either double up or cut back on Ranger production to move the Broncos through a little faster. And obviously Ford makes their own money. They know how to run their business, so I'm not going to try to tell them how to do it. But with the reservation holders, there's definitely demand for that. I don't see them scaling back unless they absolutely have to. And this is something that Ford's made pretty clear from the beginning. They don't want to sit on your Bronco order. They want to get it in your hands.
Sure.
And they've been really clear on that, and I believe them. There's no money in it for them to sit there and say, no, you don't need yours just yet.
We'll give it to you next year.
Yep. So it costs them the same. It doesn't matter. So I would have to think that they're just going to go all in. As soon as they can get the parts, they're going to just start ramping up and kicking out everything they can.
That makes sense to me. Do you have any advice for all those Bronco reservation holders who are just chomping at the bit right now?
Hang in there. Just hang in there.
Get your hammock out.
We've had a couple reservations cancel, and the time delay has been the biggest factor.
Yeah.
And some people get in a position, or some people are in a position where they can't wait. We had a reservation cancel not too long ago. The guy's car broke down, needed a new one. So that stuff happens. He doesn't have time to wait anymore, right?
Sure.
I played the game a little bit different. I set up all my leasing expecting this delivery date.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying an EcoSport. I mean, I was like, give me the cheapest car I can get.
For now.
Just for now, until my Bronco gets here.
Sure.
So that's the game. That's the game everybody can play. And it's personal, right? It's some people need a vehicle now. Some people they're willing to sacrifice. Go, you know what? I'll just get my Bronco later when this stuff settles down.
Yeah.
Really though, if you're passionate about the vehicle, stick with it. It's going to be a road to travel, but it's going to be great. I mean, it's going to be worth it in the end. No doubt.
Anyway, thanks for your time today.
No problem, Jeff.
Really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure as always. And when mine gets here, I'll definitely give you a call. And
Sweet.
We'll go hammer on it a little bit.
Well, if you have any more questions or things you want me to ask these guys, just let us know. Obviously, they're an open book, and they'll share with us everything they have. So I think that's about it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Thanks.
Cool. Let's make sure we got that. Always worry that I didn't hit record. Yep, I did.